As expected, all the focus was on Modi meeting Xi Jinping, perhaps more than the summit itself. But the Prime Minister had other engagements too. He met Iran's president yesterday, Masoud Pezeshkian. It was a key meeting for a number of reasons. One, it was their first meeting. Pezeshkian took charge in late July. He succeeded Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash. Now, Raisi was a hardliner, but Pezeshkian is a moderate. He is known as a compassionate reformer in Iran. So this meeting was a chance to get to know him better, to strike up some chemistry. Secondly, Iran is virtually at war. On October 1st, they fired ballistic missiles at Israel, nearly 200 of them. And now they're bracing for an Israeli attack. Their oil facilities, their military sites, their nuclear sites, all of them are on Israel's radar. Plus, Iran controls the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the same Hezbollah that is fighting a war with Israel. Now, this was the background of Tuesday's talks. Prime Minister Modi called for de-escalating tensions. Meanwhile, President Pezeshkian committed to peace and harmony. Listen to this.
West Asia, Prime Minister expressed his deep concern over the escalating conflict. He emphasized the need for dialogue and diplomacy to de-escalate tensions. President Pezeshkian also emphasized on the need for peace and harmony in the region and the role that India could play in de-escalating the conflict, given its good relations with all the parties involved.
Now, the Indian statement is short and crisp, but the Iranian one offers a lot more details. Apparently, Pezeshkian talked about Israel's assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, the former Hamas chief. He was killed in Tehran during Pezeshkian's inauguration. He also blamed Israel quite a bit, accusing them of massacres and warmongering. And it's not clear how Prime Minister Modi responded to all of that. While the war dominated the discussion, other issues were also raised, mainly Chabahar and Afghanistan. Chabahar is a port in southern Iran. India is building and operating a terminal there. The project was stalled for a long time, but this year both sides struck a deal. India committed to running the terminal for 10 years. It is also investing $120 million in Chabahar. Prime Minister Modi called this port the biggest pillar of the relationship. It tells you how significant it is. India wants to use Chabahar to access Central Asia, that too by bypassing Pakistan. So if the port is up and running, it's great news for India and Iran, sort of like a glue for the relationship. And beyond that, well, trade is still low because of sanctions. The India-Iran trade is just $2.3 billion, negligible for such big nations. Plus, India has been moving closer to Israel. Prime Minister Modi condemned the Hamas attack as terrorism. He defended Israel's right to hit back. He even spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu multiple times on the phone. Could that hurt India's relationship with Iran? Well, we haven't seen indications of that. In fact, both sides have displayed a lot of maturity, a lot of understanding for each other's priorities. Iran knows that India cannot abandon Israel, which is why Tehran is not pushing New Delhi on this issue. Similarly, think back to last month. Iran's supreme leader waded into the Kashmir issue. He said Muslims in Kashmir are suffering. Yet Prime Minister Modi sent his greetings to Ayatollah Khamenei. Like I said, maturity. The fact is, India and Iran will be seeing a lot more of each other. Last year, Tehran joined the SCO, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This year, they've joined BRICS. So India and Iran are part of two major multilateral platforms. They have every reason to get along. Also, it fits nicely into India's policy of building bridges, of steering clear of regional rivalries, whether it's Arab-Israel or Arab-Iran or Israel-Iran. India also has financial interests on both sides. You have the Chabahar port in Iran. You have the Europe-India trade corridor in Israel. Netanyahu talked about it at the United Nations General Assembly. He called it the blessing, which is why India has repeatedly called for de-escalation. Picking sides is not an option here. You must balance between the two.
First Post decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. Your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes. and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on First Post.